Hi, sixth graders. So your task is to answer a question about how something impacts the plot. So you're going to click here to open the questions. It's going to force you to make a copy. You're going to go ahead and make the copy. Hopefully yours doesn't take this long. And then you're going to change the name of it to have your name in there instead of the copy of, so that we can identify yours quickly and easily. And then you're actually just going to erase everything leading up to sixth grade so that you just have sixth grade information. So sixth graders have two different options of what you're going to do. So for a level 3, you have to explain how a plot unfolds in a series of episodes and how characters respond or change as the narrative advances and moves toward a resolution. And then level 4 is analyze and explain how a complex plot unfolds in a series of episodes and how subtle change and how characters respond or change as a complex narrative moves toward a resolution. So basically, you're taking a book, so I'm using Milk Goes to School, and you are going to explain how the plot unfolds, so like explain what's happening throughout the story and how characters respond or change as the story goes on. So as things happen in the book, as events take place, how do characters change as it moves toward the end of the story or the resolution? So the resolution in Milk Goes to School is when milk was spilled and her classmates are helping clean her up and put her back in her carton, and they're making all sorts of positive comments about her, and then she realizes that she is cared about and that her classmates do actually like her and that she probably has been acting spoiled. So then whenever Cupcake sneezes on all of them, her response isn't like a negative spoiled type response. It's, oh, that's okay, and then she makes a joke, and then in turn Waffle is like, oh, she didn't make a spoiled comment. Maybe she's not as bad as I thought she was. So then he tells her, like, you're really not that bad. And then she says, you're pretty sweet too. So then the whole tone of the book changes and everybody's friends and happy and all of that. So all of that to say, you are choosing one of these things. So there are many characters who change their perspective as the story progresses, with multiple perspectives being told at once, not in my story, but in Where the Mountain Meets the Moon. Choose a few events and explain how characters respond and change as the book progresses. Be sure to use multiple specific examples of events and analyze why the events cause the characters to change. So don't just say, like, this happened and the character responded this way. Like, why or what caused the characters to change using specific examples from the text. And then your other option is explain how the relationships Minley builds and Where the Mountain Meets the Moon helps her discover what it means to have good fortune. Use multiple specific examples of events and character changes in your response to analyze how her journey changes her perspective. So obviously I cannot do that option with Milk Goes to School, so I'm going to use the first one. And I'm going to use my fifth grade response as a base, and I'll just kind of explain what I said. So for fifth grade, they have to talk about how two or more characters impact the plot. Events, characters impact the plot. So I'm going to use this as a base, and I'll say throughout the story, there were many characters who impacted the plot and changed as the story progressed. One of the characters was Waffle. At the start of the school day, Milk was very excited and telling Cupcake about her new backpack, but Waffle commented that she was spoiled. This caused Milk to become, I'm going to say, two of those characters were Waffle and Milk. So then I go on to say Milk was very excited at the beginning, but Waffle commented that she was spoiled. So all of a sudden you kind of know, like, Milk's going in with a great attitude, Waffle not so much. This caused Milk to become frustrated because she didn't think she was spoiled. Throughout the day, Waffle made several more comments, and then I gave some examples here, that added to Milk's frustration. As a reader, there's a lot of tension between the characters at this point because of Waffle's negative comments. When Milk was spilled and 5 of her classmates made positive comments about her actions throughout the day, she was surprised that any of them cared about her and realized she had been acting spoiled. This caused Milk to be reflective and recognize that she was being part of the problem. Because she now felt supported by her peers, when Cupcake sneezed and got icing on the class, Milk said it was okay and the class laughed. Waffle admitted to being wrong about Milk and said she was pretty sweet too. In conclusion, Waffle's comments set a negative tone for most of the story, but the spilled milk incident positively impacted the whole class. After that, Waffle and Milk were able to reconcile their differences and be friends. So this has most of what we need for the 6th grade response. So as I'm looking back, I chose 2 characters, and I even referenced a specific event that change as the book progresses. So I say how Milk is feeling at the beginning, and then Milk was frustrated, and then Milk is feeling cared about, and then Milk was able to be friends with Waffle. So that kind of shows the change in Milk. Waffle started off negatively, commented negatively, set a negative tone, and then Waffle admitted to being wrong about Milk and said she was pretty sweet too. I'm going to add a little bit here. Waffle I'm going to say because Milk responded in a positive manner, Waffle wasn't triggered to say something negative about her being spoiled. Soon after that, Waffle admitted to being wrong about Milk and she said he was pretty sweet too. Okay, so this has specific changes for both characters, and then it even adds kind of a third piece, which is that specific spilled milk incident. So that is the resolution when the whole thing kind of shifts. So this would be a level 4 because I talk about both characters in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end of the book. And then I also give examples throughout the text of like how they're feeling or like what has happened to cause those feelings or those changes. So I didn't just say like, oh, in the beginning, Waffle was frustrated and in the end he was fine. Like that doesn't really give you any information. So you have to give specific details or what exactly from the text made the character feel or respond that way. So just make sure that you give those details. Also make sure you go back through and reread and just check like your grammar, punctuation, make sure you have everything that you want to say in there. And then you'll go back and submit it to this spreadsheet right here. So take your time, think about it. Good luck.